Do you boys and girls like Mexico? Last month, me and a couple of buddies flew in style to mainland Mexico to surf real close to the Mexico-Guatemala border for a few days. There's Alex sitting in first class. The flight was around 4 hours long, and my window buddy, she kept me company throughout the ride as we checked out the scenery below.
Wow, that's cool.
Smooth landing. Getting out of the plane and having to walk out onto the tarmac surrounded by the jungle definitely gave off exotic vibes. We landed in Huatulco, Mexico, linked up with our driver, drove through the town, and immediately grabbed our first round of tacos, refueling before getting back onto the road and paddling out for our first surf session of the trip. This break is called Barra. It was definitely packed with locals, tourists, and tasty waves. Here's Alex on the first wave of the trip, shredding the gnar. The water was like 80 degrees, muy caliente. Here's Miles taking a party wave to the right. That bearded legend can shred. It was so nice surfing without a wetsuit. Our final destination was a small sleepy town called Salina Cruz, making our way to our all-inclusive hotel called Punto Conejo Resort.
Your dinner will be ready in 10 minutes. For tonight's tlayudas. You ever heard about tlayudas?
What is that?
It's the traditional Oaxacan meal. It's like a big quesadilla, some Oaxacan
The
cheese.
cheese on it? Oh, yes, so
Delicioso. The morning sunrises were beautiful, and we were always after it early in the morning. Here's us driving to our first surf sesh of the day. This was the only beach break we surfed during the trip. It turned out to be super fun and a bit heavy as the tide dropped. Here's Alex deep in the green room. So deep I have to play it again. Whoa, pitted. Here's Miles getting shacked too. Whoa-pow. Who's this hunk? Is that Keanu Reeves? After this surf sesh, we were back on the semi-beaten path and made our way to another point break. Nothing like driving a car to the break and hanging out in little surf huts. Man, I wish we could do this at Salt Creek. Good perritos. This spot was macking. Alex and Miles had the point all to themselves for a while. Miles on a set wave. You! What a view. Living la vida buena.
La tortilla es mes. Yeah, es muy bien, muy deliciosa.
I made friends with the locals, per usual. Check out how they were cooking food for the hungry surfers. The kitchen setup was a little primitive, but man, the food was so bomb, just like the waves. Unfortunately, one surfer cut his foot on a rock. The cut was so deep, he had to get shuttled out to the hospital for 6 stitches. Bummer. That didn't stop us though. We kept the good vibes rolling. My turn to shred this time. I finally let the blue fish rip, or at least to the best of my abilities. It's been a little while since I got on the board. I've been busy building an empire. When I got out of the water, it was my turn to sing happy birthday to a local. Happy birthday to you. I'll do anything for a piece of cake. Salina Cruz is definitely an old town, a snapshot back in time, a little gem of Mexico tucked away alongside the Pacific Ocean. We surfed some famous point breaks called Punto Conejo, Toro, Barra, and La Bamba. Some of the breaks required boat access, meaning there weren't any accessible roads leading into these remote surfing destinations. So we had to launch the boat from the beach. We paid some of the local fishermen to take us out for a few hours. We loaded up the boat with our boards and rods and made our way up the coast. Little did they know we were going to stop on a few schools of fish and catch enough to feed the village. We absolutely roped the skipjack. We probably caught a dozen or so in just a few minutes. What's going on, family and friends? Ray Fuentes here. We're here in mainland Mexico, fishing and surfing just off the coast of Salina Cruz. We're at the El Toro break, where Alex and Miles are currently getting pitted, just deep in the barrel. We're having a great week here. Can't wait to come home and bring the mucho love back to the States. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Love you mucho. Woo! It was such a fun experience, surfing with the bros, soaking up breathtaking views, nobody around us for miles, enjoying the occasional celebratory beers after long days out in the water. Here's our surfing guide, Martin. He was such a good dude who got us into the waves and also hustled to make sure we were taken care of. I really enjoyed soaking up the view of the shining lights of the tiny town of Salina Cruz, nestled into the rolling hills as the day turned to night. Here's us sending the panga right back up to where we got it, high and dry, right on the beach, just doing as the locals do. I'm telling you, there were picturesque views in every direction we looked. Even the federales put on a show for us, having us get out of the car before searching it head to toe. If they were trying to scare us, it definitely worked. We were glad to get them out of our hair. Mexico was a blast, aside for the crazy amount of mosquitoes and insectos. For our final day in Mex, I chose to hang out at the hotel and soak up the digs instead of surfing one last session before rushing to the airport. I ate chilaquiles before hopping into the hammock and thinking about how Ripple and XRP are radically transforming our global financial system. I left my mark so people know that Ray Fuentes and the XRP family made it to Punto Conejo Resort. And here we are back at the airport. We made it on time to check our surfboards and fishing rods in to officially end a great surfing trip south of the border in Mexico. This was definitely what the doctor ordered. I highly recommend a surfing trip at the Punto Conejo Resort in mainland Mexico. Reach out if you have any questions. Thanks for tuning in. Love you mucho.